One of the biggest issues I see with paid traffic campaigns for law firms is the lack of a landing page. A lot of law firms will just send traffic directly to the homepage, and it's not the best experience. You're going to lose a lot of conversions like that. So inside of our 8-step meta ads process for success, landing page creation is number 5. And what we're talking about here is when somebody sees the ad, right? Now, you can run forms inside of Facebook or Instagram that will pop up. I don't like that. I strongly recommend that you always send traffic to the landing page. So when somebody clicks on the ad, a landing page is the website that will pop up and will ultimately try and get the conversion. Now, one of the reasons why having a landing page is so important is because if we just send it to the homepage, there's all these different things that will detract or distract the user from the ultimate conversion that we want to take. And ultimately, we want to keep them focused. And a custom landing page allows us to create very detailed, specific messaging that will align to the conversion that we're trying to drive. So I have this table here that talks about macro versus micro landers. Again, if you recall in the earlier training, we talked about macro and micro offers. A micro offer being something like an ebook or a template or a training that gets people off of Facebook and Instagram and into your email list and ecosystem when we want to nurture them. And a macro offer is going to be direct response, book a call, consultation, etc. So we talk about the landing page, the difference between a macro and micro lander. Again, if you're in the personal injury space, you're pretty much only going to be running macro campaigns, which is an immediate conversion, versus if you're in the family law, tax, business space, you might want to be running micro conversion campaigns that are going to build long-term familiarity and trust. So when we think about that, right, and we look about personal injury versus family law, for example, personal injury, people are looking for an attorney right now. They're ready to make a hire based on how much compensation that they believe that they're owed or you believe that you can get them. Versus family law, somebody might be seeking help, guidance for years before ultimately deciding to call an attorney. So that's why a micro conversion is effective, because we can get in front of them over a long period of time and then nurture them with email and other ads on top of that. So in terms of measurement, the performance of a macro page, we're going to be looking at really just lead sales, ROIs, calls, conversions. Micro is going to be a little bit more high level reach, engagement, and ultimately also email opt-ins and the performance of those email opt-ins. When it comes to the messaging on a macro landing page, it's going to be much more direct, urgent, action-oriented, call now, speak to an attorney, versus micro, it's going to be much more emotional, right? It's going to be much more rooted in pain points. If you're a business owner going through a divorce, here's 10 tips on how to protect your business, versus if you were in a car accident, you need to call an attorney within 14 days if you want to maximize your compensation, right? So different messaging that we're going to put on those landing pages. And then targeting, very generally speaking, macro is going to be very narrow and specific, aka at the bottom of the funnel, right? It's going to be a much smaller audience, so it's going to be much more specific. Versus micro, what we're doing with these campaigns, we're trying to do some prospecting. So it's much broader, right? Sometimes we don't put in any sort of interest or audience targeting. It's very broad targeting. We're trying to maximize our reach and then let the offer do the work in terms of bringing people in. So when we talk about macro landing pages, right, there's a lot of similarities here, right? The main thing here, though, is that these are for when we want to generate a lead. They're crafted to get visitors to take a specific action immediately, call, fill out a form, book a consultation, and it eliminates unnecessary navigation and distractions to keep users on track. So for example, if you're a personal injury car accident attorney and you're running a very specific ad and you send them to your homepage, there's all sorts of content, information, distractions that ultimately will probably just divert the traffic away from booking. Versus if we send them directly to a landing page, right, there's no navigation, there's nowhere else to click aside from, headline, offer, right? Headline is what we're trying to call out here. We want to try and state the benefit of solution, get the compensation you deserve, and ultimately call out pain points in the meantime. And also, again, this is that offer that we talked about, like a 30-second quiz, especially in the accident space, is incredibly important because we want to make sure the lead is qualified, right? We don't want to just put a phone number on there. So if we put them through a 30-second quiz, it allows them to see, the end outcome that they're looking for, which is, am I owed compensation? But also from our point of view, it allows us to qualify that lead, put them through 5 different questions. And at the end of that quiz, we can automatically either direct them to a phone call, or we can just, kind of say, you don't really have a case, sorry. In terms of just this is the kind of anatomy of what should be on a macro landing page. So headline, subheadline, right? Again, speak to the pain points, speak to the outcomes. We talked about this in a previous training. Big, clear call to action, all above the fold. This is critical. Above the fold means what people see before they have to scroll on either desktop or mobile. And I always like to look at mobile because 90% of your traffic is going to be coming from mobile. So the above the fold information is critical. Headline, subheadline, either an image or a video, and then the call to action and offer. That all has to be visible without scrolling, because 80% of people coming to these pages are not going to scroll. They're going to make their decision ultimately, even before they get to the landing page. A lot of times, if your advertising is good enough, they've already made their decision getting to the landing page. So we want to keep that landing page consistent, congruent, and on messaging with what the ad said. Urgency and scarcity, social proof, and again, no distractions. So underneath this here, what you could put is you could put some testimonials, some Google reviews, some featured on. But again, it doesn't really matter, especially in the injury and accident space. It's just not overly important. People just care about themselves and they care about getting compensated. So when it comes to a micro landing page, right, this is actually a campaign that we're running right now. We pretty much only run micro conversion campaigns on Facebook because I'm trying to attract lawyers in. And you as a lawyer are not just going to go on Facebook and then call me and pay me 10 grand a month for a retainer. I have to sell you. I have to woo you. I have to nurture you. I have to convince you that we know what we're doing over here. So we run these campaigns. We send you to a landing page. Again, all this stuff is very similar, right? Headline, subheadline, call to action. A lot of stuff is the same. The biggest difference here is just ultimately the conversion. And a lot of the times these micro landing pages are going to have more supporting information because we're trying to sell them on why they should opt in and what they're going to get from opting in. A macro conversion page, right? Speak to an attorney. There's not a whole lot of selling in terms of what they're going to get. They kind of know what they're going to get. So a lot of times what we'll do on these landing pages here, again, big, bold, attention-grabbing headline. This is the most important thing. Supporting subheadline. We like to put the button here because, you know, again, a lot of people are coming to these landing pages already knowing. When you click this, you get a pop-up that says name, email, and then once you submit that form, you go to our email marketing system where you're going to get automated emails. And then you can just see we have images that are supporting what we're offering here and then what you'll learn. So this is ultimately a video, right? You're opting in to watch a video. It's how 90% of you that are probably watching this right now have discovered us. We're running Facebook ads to a very simple squeeze page. You opt in, you get access immediately to a video. You go to our email database, we email you over time, and ultimately we're trying to convert you into becoming a client by demonstrating our knowledge and our know-how in this space. So let's just kind of run through some of the finer details of a landing page and how to build these if you want to do this on your own. So in terms of how to build them, we like landing page software. We use ClickFunnels and Unbounce. ClickFunnels we use a lot more internally because we have the systems and processes down. But Unbounce is also good. We use that a lot more for paid search campaigns because sometimes they require a little bit more customization. Facebook landing pages are very simple. You don't want to overcomplicate them. The big thing here, though, is that you don't want to use your website. Like if you're on WordPress, you don't want to just build a page on WordPress because, again, you lack the ability to shrink that page down into something very simple. You lack the ability to set up A/B tests and test these different things, headlines, call to actions. It's much slower and requires a lot more. When you're running on ClickFunnels or Unbounce, you basically just set it up on a subdomain and then it's on your website technically, and you can easily edit those pages without the need for a designer and developer. It just makes testing much easier. Like I just said, set it up on a subdomain of your website. That way, when people visit it, it will track and we can remarket to those people. If you don't have it on a subdomain is basically just like, you know, ours is go.webers.org, right? Our root domain is webers.org, but we insert the go.webers.org because now that content lives on a version of that domain, which allows us to track the traffic that comes to it. If it's on like the ClickFunnels domain or the Unbounce domain, you're not gonna be able to track that traffic. It has to be on your domain. A little bit technical, reach out to us. We're happy to help you out with that if you need it. So simplicity is key also. I coach a lot of marketers, and marketers tend to want to over-design things. And a large majority of the best landing pages are the simplest, dirtiest, cheapest looking ones. White page, big black headline, very simple. And that's because messaging is key. And a lot of the times, the convincing happens on the ad platform. It happens through your creative. That's why we spent so much time in this training talking about your ad creative and videos, because people should be coming to the landing page with their mind pretty much made up. We just want the landing page to mimic and be consistent and congruent with what they saw on the Facebook ad. So that way they're not coming there and putting their information into something that they didn't really know was coming up. It's actually a bad example of a landing page that I just threw up here. You know, it's just a template, I think, that I found on the internet, but, you know, it's not about you, it's about them, right? This is about them obviously selling you, get a free quote. We always want to, again, we talked a lot about messaging. We want to make sure that the messaging is about them, their problems, their pain points, you know, whatever practice area that you're trying to sell them into. Just like I just said, damn, I'm always ahead of the curve here. It's about them, it's not about you. Always, always, always focus on their problems, their pain points. Now is not the time to sell yourself. Now is the time to support them, be empathetic with the problems that they're having, and you want to be offering a solution. That's ultimately what it is, right? The landing page and the ads call out the problems, and then the offer that you're making is the solution to that problem. So the messaging should be geared towards them. It shouldn't be saying, hire us as an attorney, we have 30 years of experience. It's, you've been impacted by this, you are going through a divorce and it's painful and it's difficult, and you also don't want, like, you're already losing your family, don't lose your business. That's pretty good, you can use that. You're already losing your family, don't lose your business. You're already losing your income, don't lose your business. You're already losing your business, don't lose your family, right? Very big pain point. And then if you say, you know, put in your information here, and like, you'll get 3 tips on how to make sure that you protect your family, make sure to protect your business, or, you know, speak to an attorney that specializes in business owners going through a divorce. So you can see how that's geared towards them, and it's going to be much more enticing for you to ultimately opt in. So that's everything on landing pages. Again, as always, you know, if you have questions on this, you can post in the community and we'll answer any questions. If you need us to build these for you, we can have designers and developers standing by to build you custom landing pages. Just let us know. Just hit us up, reach out, and we can knock this out for you. If not, like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Hey, Ryan here. Hope you liked that video. If you want more, check out these 2 videos right here on this screen.